So where are you on your spiritual journey? Ever so frequently, when we are traveling along our spiritual path, we lose contact with the road signs that guide us. When working with others, I have often found that a few people exaggerate where they are on their spiritual journey. However, most tend to undervalue their situation. Here is a helpful roadmap that is simple and easy to use. Stage 1. Asleep. In this stage, the person is unaware of a need to seek within themselves the mystery of who they are. They may not be satisfied with their lives, but they do not seek a higher understanding of themselves. In other words, they do not know that there are higher possibilities for themselves. But more so, they are unaware that they lack this understanding. People in this stage would not be listening to this episode. Stage 2. Awake. This is a crucial stage. Many people are stuck here. The best way to describe it is that they are aware of something greater within, but lack the commitment to explore. I come across people who will express a strong desire to follow their spiritual path. I can spend a lot of time with them, but they do not take personal responsibility for their journey when we are apart. The awake stage can be described as interested but not committed. Stage 3. Dabbler. People at this stage run from one type of spiritual theme to another. I call this spiritual tourism. They will talk about the latest workshops and then on to the next one. They move from one guru to another. I heard one sage describe it as someone who has grown a plant in one area of their garden. However, after a few months, they think that the plant will grow better in another place. So they dig it up and transplant it. They keep doing this and then are disappointed that they have to put in a lot of effort, but their plant remains stunted in its growth. The dabbler stage can be described as interested, committed, but inefficient. Stage 4. Student. Here is really where the spiritual journey takes momentum. Think of the child who begins school. That child knows that in many years she will graduate from high school. She has only a superficial idea of what that looks like. She keeps at it, going to school every day and doing her homework. She still does not know what graduation feels like, but she puts in the time. Year after year, she faithfully sticks to it until she succeeds. At the student stage, that person is interested, committed, and efficient. Stage 5. Devotee. Here the person is well on their way. Despite whatever life throws at them, they have faith, belief, and commitment that is unwavering. They do not question or blame any higher power for their pain and suffering. They are now spiritually accountable. Their core belief in higher consciousness is unshakable. They may be stalled at times, but they do not turn back. It is no longer whether they are interested, committed, or efficient. Their journey and they become the same. Even in the face of tragedy, they have an inner sense of hope and trust. They surrender more and complain less. They begin to show changes in behavior. They are less judgmental, more loving, and generally more at peace. Stage 6. Realization. This was briefly mentioned in a previous episode. When we are awake, we know that we are human. However, a tiny part of us understands that we have some type of divinity within. Now, more and more inside us, that divinity is being experienced. All the work as a student and devotee begin to multiply. Our degree of realization expands. We transform from a stage of doing to simply being. We still need to continue to live in this world and deal with the happiness and sadness that it brings, but we become less and less attached to it. Stage 7. Enlightenment. There is a critical time when that degree of realization that we are divine is more significant than that of us which thinks we are human. At a critical time in this expansion, we liberate ourselves from the human experience and become divine. We achieve moksha, or liberation. If we were to look at the Buddha's life, at an early stage he was asleep and unaware of the pain and suffering of mankind. Then he discovers death and sickness and becomes awake. He struggled to understand the concept of pain and suffering and dabbled in different approaches. But he committed to be a student on the path, moving to devotee, realization, and enlightenment. So really, where do you honestly feel you are on your journey?